There is a video out there right now with a ton of views, and it's claiming that lazy people never get fired. That is not true. I've seen plenty of them get walked right out the door, but some of them do stick around for years, and here's why. Effort is not the only thing protecting these people who do survive the longest. And if you think this video is telling you to slack off, it is not. It's showing you exactly what keeps certain people employed way longer than they should be so that you have the ability to spot it while you're on the job. Point one, watch for your coworker who can tell you exactly which parts of their job get checked and which ones don't. This is not an accident. It means they've already done the math on what gets tracked and what does not. And you're probably trying to be excellent at everything, every task, every deadline, every interaction. They are not. They're running the numbers on which boxes are for show and which ones actually trigger consequences. And they're skipping every one that's just for show. And here's the part that stings. Most of the time, they're right. And nobody notices because you're the one that's quietly covering the gap that they left empty. Now, the move here is not to start slacking. It's to get honest with yourself about which of your own tasks actually matter and which ones you're grinding on for no other reason than habit. Point two, watch for your coworker who plays the social game. They stop and say hello to everybody in the hallway. They're deep in every group chat. They're locked into the human side of the job. This is a smart play because they get that fitting in matters more than most people want to admit. Now, whether they're conscious of it or not, they are investing in being liked and being visible because this protects them more than any raw output ever could. They walk around like they've already earned the benefit of the doubt, and people perceive this as confidence, and they perceive confidence as competence. Meanwhile, your head is down doing the actual work, assuming it will speak for itself, and sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. And if nobody senior knows your name, your output isn't protecting you the way that you think it is. This one doesn't mean be fake. It means stop assuming the good work is automatically visible work and start making sure that the people that make the decisions see your work. I've trained corporate teams for years, and this pattern shows up in almost every one of them. I know the people that master the social game, and they almost always do great. If this pattern is already sounding familiar, hit the like button. It tells me to make more of these. Point three, watch how the boss goes to the same two or three people every single time that something urgent needs to get done. They never ask the lazy person, no matter how urgent it is. That's the double standard in action. Everybody knows this rule. If you need to get something done, you give it to the busy person. The busy person builds more trust with the boss every single time that they come through. So they're the one who gets called on the next time too, because the boss knows that they can count on them. This is a good thing in today's market. Meanwhile, the lazy person is doing just enough to keep their job without drawing anybody's attention. Being the one the boss calls on is good because you're counted on, but more interactions means more chances to get caught making a mistake. The lazy person does not want that spotlight. It puts a target on their back. So they do just enough to stay out of sight. Now, here's something I want you to hold on to. When times are good, the company keeps everybody on the payroll, extra people included. But when times get tough and cuts start, they keep the most valuable people first, and the ones that are doing the bare minimum are the first to go. Your job is to be the person with the highest output and the best social connections. That's what's going to keep you employed when the cuts come. Point four, watch for the coworker who never raises their hand when the boss says, "Are there any volunteers?" They're not raising it because they don't want the added risk or the added work. It's probably simply a laziness habit. The person who volunteers first is putting their name on the line in case the project fails. The one who never raises their hand never has to assume that responsibility. And here's the honest take. If you have a teammate that's genuinely underwater and they can't take on anymore, we're not talking about them. We're talking about the person that never volunteers, period. They let everybody else on the team take the responsibility every single time. Keep raising your hand anyway. It gets remembered. it comes back to you. The coworker who never raises their hand, they're going to eventually need help from somebody else. And by then, nobody's going to be rushing in to give it. If you're the one who always ends up covering the work of everybody else, you're allowed to let the leadership know that you are doing it. If you've lived through a version of this, drop it in the comments. I read every single one of them. And if you haven't hit subscribe yet, this is a good time. Point 5, watch how calm your manager stays with a coworker who clearly is not pulling their own weight. Just because your coworker isn't actually a problem from where your manager is sitting. They're not missing deadlines they never had. They're not creating a conflict because they avoid anything that could cause a conflict. They're not a threat to anyone's position because they're not ambitious enough to be a threat. The team is doing fantastic because everybody on your team is reliable and you're doing everything that the other person does not do. So from your manager's chair, there is no problem. Firing them creates a vacancy, a hiring process, and a disruption your manager doesn't want to deal with right now. Keeping them is just following the path of least resistance. And this is one of the hardest things to hear because it means the system isn't broken by accident. It's working exactly as it's designed to. It's designed around your manager's comfort and not your workload. None of this means you should start doing less. It means you should stop being an invisible safety net for someone else's laziness so that it can be sustainable. Start setting boundaries on work that is not yours and start making sure that the right people actually see what you're doing instead of assuming that your work is going to speak for itself. If this changed how you see your own workplace, hit the like button and subscribe. I break dynamics like this down every week, and you don't want to miss the next one. I'll see you on the next video.